There are stories we once thought were meant only for childhood, but the older we grow, the more we realize they hold lessons that never fade with time. Today, I invite you to step into a journey filled with tears, danger, and love the story of a young girl whose skin was as white as snow, whose lips were as red as blood, and whose hair was as black as ebony. Her name was Snow White. This is not just a tale for children. It is a story for all of us, a reflection on jealousy, friendship, and the enduring power of love. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there lived a queen who sat by a window made of dark ebony wood, gazing out at the pure white snow. As she sewed, her needle pricked her finger, and 3 drops of red blood fell onto the snowy ground. She stared at the vivid red against the pure white and softly whispered, "I wish I had a daughter whose skin is as white as snow, whose lips are as red as blood, and whose hair is as black as this ebony wood." Before her words faded into the wind, destiny had already written its course. Not long after, she gave birth to a beautiful baby girl, her skin as white as snow, her lips as rosy as fresh blood, and her hair as dark and glossy as polished ebony. The little girl was given a simple yet perfect name, Snow White. But happiness did not last long. The gentle queen passed away soon after, leaving her precious daughter motherless. The king, in time, remarried his new queen, was indeed beautiful, but her heart was cold and filled with pride. The new queen possessed a magic mirror that hung in her chamber. Every day she would look into it and ask, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" And the mirror would answer, "You, my queen, are the fairest of them all." Is will calm? That answer always pleased her until one day, as Snow White grew older, her beauty blossomed into something radiant, pure, and full of grace. One morning, when the queen asked her usual question, the mirror replied, "My queen, you are indeed beautiful, but Snow White is far more fair than you." Those words struck the queen like a sharp blade cutting through her pride. Jealousy flared within her eyes, burning hotter with every breath. Consumed by rage, the queen summoned a huntsman and ordered him to take Snow White into the forest, kill her, and bring back her heart as proof. The huntsman's hands trembled as he held his knife. When he looked into the princess's innocent eyes, his heart broke. He could not do it. He sighed deeply and said, "My princess, run far into the forest. I cannot harm you, but please, never return to the castle again." And so he let her go. To deceive the queen, he killed a deer and brought back its heart instead. Snow White, terrified and alone, ran deeper and deeper into the dark woods. Strange eyes glimmered from the shadows, and haunting howls echoed through the night. She trembled with fear, her tears sparkling under the pale moonlight. Yet, guided by instinct, and perhaps a touch of fate, she finally stumbled upon a small, charming little cottage nestled quietly among the trees. It was the strangest little house she had ever seen. Everything inside was tiny. The chairs, the beds, the bowls, even the spoons. She looked around in wonder, but exhaustion soon took over. She ate a small piece of bread, took a sip of wine from a tiny cup, and then lay down on one of the small beds that fit her perfectly. Soon, the owners of the house returned 7 dwarfs who worked hard in the mines. When they saw a beautiful young girl sleeping in their home, their eyes widened in astonishment. When Snow White woke up, she told them her story. The dwarfs were moved by her kindness and misfortune. They decided to let her stay on one condition: she would take care of the house, cooking, washing, and keeping it clean. From that day on, Snow White lived happily with the 7 dwarfs. Her laughter filled the little cottage with warmth and joy, making it feel like the happiest home in the forest. But far away in the castle, the magic mirror still told the truth. "My queen, you are beautiful indeed, but Snow White is still more fair than you." The queen's rage boiled over. She now knew that Snow White was still alive. So she disguised herself as an old peddler woman and went deep into the forest to find the little house. The first time, she brought a beautiful silk ribbon. Pretending to be kind, she offered to lace Snow White's dress for her, but then pulled it so tight that the girl fainted. Fortunately, the dwarfs returned just in time and loosened the ribbon, saving her life. The second time, the queen brought a poisoned comb. When Snow White used it to brush her hair, she collapsed once again. But the dwarfs discovered the comb and revived her. The third time, the queen carried a bright red apple. Half of it was poisoned, half of it harmless. Snow White took a bite from the poisoned side and fell to the ground, lifeless. This time, the dwarfs could not save her. Heartbroken, they placed her inside a glass coffin so they could still see her beautiful face each day. Time passed, yet Snow White remained as lovely as an angel lost in an endless dream. One day, a prince riding through the forest saw the glass coffin glimmering in the sunlight. The sight of her face beneath the crystal lid took his breath away. His heart stirred with deep affection. He said to the dwarfs, "Please, Let me take her with me. I will love and protect her for the rest of my life." The dwarfs hesitated, but their love for Snow White made them agree at last. As the coffin was lifted, a small piece of apple lodged in her throat was dislodged. Snow White gasped softly, and her eyes fluttered open, shining like morning dew. Overjoyed, the prince embraced her and whispered, "Oh, you are awake. From now on, I will never let you suffer again." News of Snow White's miraculous awakening and her upcoming wedding to the prince spread throughout the kingdom. The wicked queen heard it, and fury consumed her once more. She went to her mirror and demanded, "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest one of all?" The mirror replied, "The fairest of them all is now Snow White." Overcome with jealousy and rage, the queen went to the wedding, but there she faced her fate. Justice awaited her. She was forced to wear red-hot iron shoes and dance until she fell to the ground, defeated by her own cruelty. And as for Snow White and the prince, they lived happily ever after, surrounded by their loyal friends, the 7 dwarfs, who never stopped caring for her. The story of Snow White reminds us that jealousy can turn beauty into darkness. Kindness will always be protected, even as it walks through the shadows. True friendship is the shield that guards the heart, and true love is the magic powerful enough to awaken even the longest sleep.